Hi, I'm here. Yeah, I'm a little late today just because it's going to be this way this time of year. Work gets a little crazy every morning, and, sometimes I can't get out of there when I need to, and that's just how it is this week. So anyway, hi, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. I get to tell some people to F right off. Well, we could do that any day of the week, and I'm happy to do it, I gotta say. So there's some hearings going on in the United States Senate right now, and let's just get this out of the way. Thank God Merrick Garland is not on the Supreme Court. Holy shitballs, this guy, this guy, I tell you, you can just go right ahead and type in that FTG Merrick Garland, because fuck that guy. Hey, tall person, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you for being the first sponsor of the show. That's early. Thank you, tall person over on Streamlabs. Did a little sponsorship of the show saying, Happy National Chocolate Day. My wife calls me sweet chocolate. No, anyway, yeah, that's awesome. It's National Chocolate Day. This is a day where you should get the day off because, chocolate's very important. Chocolate and bacon are probably the most two important food groups that you can put into your body. And so thank you to all person for sponsoring the show and letting us know that it's National Chocolate Day. Love me some chocolate. All right. So anyway, we've got some FTGs. I didn't get a whole lot of them open, but there are a few, and there's some other news. But we might end up spending the whole time on this Senate hearing. No, we won't. We'll watch a few video clips from one of the articles and then just touch on some of the other stuff. But holy criminy. This guy is just, they're all playing this narrative game, and it's really, really fucking annoying. And it's tying into how authoritarian they can be and how much control they want over your children. Especially if just, I'm glad my kids are out of school. So maybe that's a damn good thing. Although I don't know, they tried to indoctrinate my kids, but my two kids have common sense. And so even though certain things, they've gone along with as far as, beliefs, but there's certainly what's funny is that watching them get older and rejecting some of the things that were attempted to be indoctrinated into them is just makes me feel so proud as a parent, because my kids are, oh man, they are awesome. So anyway, we'll talk about that after the intro. Johnny, play the intro, please. Yes now, right? What? Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Okay, let's stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. You can address me either way. I will, if you type it in the chat and you want to get my attention and you put the little @ in front of it, Dawg Knight probably makes it easier because Marty doesn't do anything. But anyway, welcome to the show. It is Thursday, FTG Thursday, the 28th of October, 2021, and I am ecstatic that you've joined us today. And in fact, let's just get into the who's joined us today, because there's a whole bunch of you here already, and I appreciate that. By the way, during the show, you are not required to, but I certainly implore you to hit the like button at some point during the show if you like what we do. Also, share the stream. And if you want to follow me on social media and just repeat what I do, you just hit me up here that way at or at Dawg Knight on Twitter, Minds, Gab, Parler, CloudHub, Getter, and maybe someday even Truth Social. Who knows what's going to happen there? Anyway, and also if you want to find replays, you can not. If I ever get yeeted from YouTube, you can always find me on Trovo, D Live, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute. I'm on all of them, and most of my archive is backed up on Odyssey. So if I ever do lose my spot here, I can always go over there and we'll still be running. Anyway, also quick thank yous to, let me see who's already done this. Let's see. Somnambule Nation, Tyler F, Willet Forge, thank you for retweeting the show, and Somnambule Nation was there even before I was, so I do appreciate that. Let's say good morning to everybody real quick. Oh, another sponsor with a little bit of a shack attack there. Thank you, Baby Vazo. Baby Vazo,
you are the new Streamlabs
Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Who has a question for me through Streamlabs? Says, have you ever debated someone and had either your or their mind change? Do males engage in debate bros as a substitute for physical combat? Is it in our nature? Call me sexist, but I really can't think of any female debater. Do female debaters exist? Well, there are some female master debaters that, you knew I was going to let that one go. Well, if you think about it, recently, Anna Kasparian went on and had a debate with Ben Shapiro. And she seemed to, what I hear is, I want to go back and watch it. But yeah, I've seen her debate people before. I've seen Rachel Maddow. I've seen Rachel Maddow debate people. I've seen some women debate people in that, but not like, you don't have the Vashes and who's the other dude that, Destiny, the dude from Omaha. There's a bunch of those guys like debate all the time. It is, sometimes it's a penis wagging contest, but I don't know if they engage as a substitute for physical contact, but I think it for some of them, particularly Destiny and Vosh, makes them a lot of fucking money, I'll tell you that. And because that's all they do, and they think they're the most brilliant humans on the internet. Have I ever debated somebody though and had either one's mind change? It depends. Not necessarily a verbal debate over the internet or anything like that. I have persuaded a few people on Twitter as far as when I make a point and then they come and, make some bullshit talking point, counterpoint, where they really don't know the information. And then I lay out the information with, like the kids like to say, receipts. And then they go, oh, okay, that makes sense, blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know. It's possible. In this entrenched political world, though, I haven't necessarily ever really seen it. Although, it's interesting, though. I mentioned Destiny earlier. And I have seen Destiny's position, I wouldn't say necessarily change, but morph in some issues, some like particular free speech issues and people calling everybody Nazis and stuff. I've seen his position on that actually get people mad at him because he doesn't necessarily toe every line that he's supposed to as a left-wing liberal, whatever you want to call, his side. So anyway, all right, let's get into the show. Thank you for the question. Thank you for sponsoring the show. If you want to sponsor the show, YouTube super chats are fine and dandy. If you like to give Susan money, or if that's your best place to do it, because I know some people like the anonymity of super chats or Streamlabs. You can either use PayPal or credit cards and Streamlabs, and then there's a couple other options down below, including I think Cash App and I think I have Cash App and Venmo down there. I don't put Zelle down there yet. Anyway, thank you for those who sponsor the show. All right, first in the chat today is Somnambul Nation. Who gets the bell? Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a regular viewer. Also, Advocatus Diaboli, the Devil's Advocates in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Jen T. With a very morning. She yelled a morning. That's fantastic. Good morning, Mike Savage. Blarg. Cracks in the house. Selective Boys in the house.
Yeah, boy.
Also, Will It Forge and Let's Go Brandon, a.k.a. Renee Miette. Who just is going to keep that name for a while, and I think it's fantastic. Good morning, tall person again, and also thank you for sponsoring the show. Good morning to let's see who else is here. Zach Osborne's in the house. Nice to see you. Higgs in the house. I'm going to give you a truck horn, even though it's not really a truck. And they have the big old motorhome thing that they travel around in a lot. Hi to Cindy also in the background. One of you is. Usually if one of you is there, I know both of you are there. Also, let's see who else is here. There's a bunch of people here. Will It Forge is in the house. 5Z's in the house. Not gonna try it today. Tyler F. Hello. Special K on Acid here. James PFP. Nice to have you back. Also, good morning to Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Also, King on Common Law, Aaron Meredith, and wait, what's it say? Oh, you guys are talking to each other. Is that everybody that I've hit the chat so far? Looks like it. Oh, Jim Beeb's in the house. What's happening? And Baby Vaso, of course, who's already sponsored the show. And Amy in Connecticut's in the house. Are you wearing those sexy glasses again, Amy? You look kind of good with them glasses on. I was digging that picture, that new Abby. Okay, so all right. Also, thank you. A longtime sponsor. I think Gun Fox is here. I'm almost positive. Did I mention Gun Fox yet? I know you're here, Gun Fox, because, I'm not going to tell you how I know you're here. Thanks, Mitch the Ripper, too, for retweeting the show. Another sponsor this morning, another Shack Attack, and you, BB. This is a long time sponsor, by the way. If you, if you've been here a while, there is another way that you can sponsor the show. You could write your own ad for the show, and this particular company has been a sponsor for probably about 9 months now, after a very creative ad was written. And thank you, BBC Rentals, for sponsoring the show. And you are the
You are the new Streamlabs
superstar sponsor of the day, however that's supposed to go. So BBC Rental has an ad for us. Let's see here. And I'll try to here. You know what? I got an idea. I got a really good idea here. Let me find something real quick before I read this ad, because I need the appropriate music for this ad. So there you go. But while I'm trying to figure that out, good morning, Legit Low Talker. I see you in the chat. All right, we need some. This ad requires. Let me see if I can find it here. Requires some. Where the hell is it? There's that. There's funk. I don't want funk. I want. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. This is the perfect music for this ad. Oh, does this have... Oh, no. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Sorry. Let me fix this. There we go. Thanks to the Biden inflation, we have to raise our prices on single mothers and feminist cat ladies because you bitches voted for it. Now pay up, bitches. We needed to raise our prices because gas and rubbers aren't cheap enough. BBC Rentals. Unless you're racist.
That's racist!
All right, there you go. Thank you, BBC Rentals. Thank you for sponsoring the show again, as you often do. That's cute. All right, let's get into the show. So the name of the show, Dodged a. Finish that sentence. When someone says dodged a. Oh yeah. If someone says dodged a. Fill in the blank. There's really only one thing to fill in there, right? Dodged a bullet. But I didn't want to put bullet in the name of the stream today, and here's why. So the other day I did a stream talking about young Mr. Kyle Rittenhouse, right? And I put Kyle Rittenhouse's name in the stream, in the name of the stream, and in the title or whatever, right? Maybe not in the name of the stream, but it was in the description of the stream. And when I went to check my, you get the background thing on YouTube, your videos and stuff like that. It had one of those yellow dollar signs saying that they were limiting the income stream from it. And I did. Now look, I appealed it and they changed it back to green, right? But I was like, now why? Because for weeks I haven't had one of those yellow dollar sign things that says you're limiting your ability, your income from this video. And I had to think about it. I'm looking, I'm like, what? I didn't really do anything different than I normally do. And then I realized, oh, I know, because I mentioned Kyle Rittenhouse in the description, and they believe that you're not allowed to. All right, that glorify, but you're not allowed to even support the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse may have acted in self-defense. They don't like that at YouTube because there are, a bunch of dumbasses. Anyway, so I was like, okay, and I was going to make the stream called Dodged a Bullet, but then having a bullet and saying Dodged a Bullet and having Merrick Garland's picture there, they would probably try to accuse me of some sort of violence. So I left it fill in the blank, Dodged a. And most people would say immediately bullet, right? Okay, I'm laughing here because, tall person, yes, you are correct. You did say bullet. Special K on acid says arrow. Avocados de Alba thought I dodged a lit cigarette. Dodged Challenger. Dodged an axe. Oh my God, you guys. Has your guy ever been spotted in blackface? I don't know. I don't think he has. And then Bullet with Steve McQueen. That's a great movie. Supposedly the greatest car chase scene in the history of moviedom, which is a pretty good movie because the realism of that car chase, which they actually, blocked off a bunch of roads in San Francisco and made this long, I don't know if they did one take or not, but I always laugh at that because they got they have a Dodge Charger being chased by I don't know if it's a Mustang, which version of a Mustang, but I'm like, come on now. He's not going to chase down a Dodge Charger in a Mustang. Although the Mustang would have better handling than the Dodge Charger. Straight line, Dodge Charger blows the doors off of a Mustang. But I guess you're driving around the streets of San Francisco, I suppose, with handling and turning and stuff. The Ford Mustang might have been comparable. But anyway, enough about that. Merrick Garland, thank God this asshole's not in the Supreme Court. Holy smokes. Did I just call him an asshole? Yeah, I did, didn't I? Okay, well, it happens. So Merrick Garland is testifying before the United States Senate. And one of the, so I'm, seeing on Twitter about it. And, everyone wants to talk about Ted Cruz's question because Ted Cruz, it's hilarious. Of all the things that are being asked about in this hearing, and I love on Twitter, and people are talking about Ted Cruz defends Nazis. What? And so I had to go, okay, let's go find out what this is. Well, and I'll give you, here's MSNBC, in fact. I'm going to show you right here. Here's the tweet of MSNBC. Ari Milber, Senator Cruz appears to defend the right to do the Nazi salute, saying it's free speech after it was reported that a parent at Ohio school board meeting did the salute in response to a request to put on a mask. Now, and then of course Howard Dean, wingnut racism. I haven't opened this one. Wingnut racism. Now I will get into Merrick Garland in a minute, but Howard Dean's a shitbag. I'm just telling you. Let's see what they do here. This is so fucking disingenuous. But is there gonna be an ad? Oh my God. In 15 seconds. It's the money. It's the money. It's the money. Yeah. While we're waiting, thank you, Baby Vazo. It's the money. Yeah. As I hit the pause button on this dumbass. All right. Who says, thank you for sponsoring the show, and to Baby Vaso.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you very much. Baby Vaso says, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Merrick really claim to investigate into the harassment of Cinema and Manchin? Did Merrick really claim no investigation into the harassment of Cinema and Manchin was because they didn't personally report it or despite video evidence? Yeah. What kind of precedent is that? So is he practicing pseudo-anarchy? He did actually say that. Well, they haven't reported. They haven't had a request. So they didn't look into it. Yeah, he did actually say that. We'll get to that. We'll get to it. Yeah. Anyway, so here's Ari Melber's bullshit. I'll unmute this here.
Reports of a disturbing Nazi salute at an Ohio school board meeting that was the response to a request to follow masking guidelines.
Now, let's just stop there. What they were doing is apparently, and this is new to me, it's not okay to compare any politicians to the people who followed the guy with the funny mustache. It's no longer, because that's what this person was doing. They were saying you were being an authoritarian, after being told to put on a mask like Kyle Hitler, right? Funny guy with the funny mustache. They were ridiculing the school board. Okay? But notice that's really not, they were trying to make it sound like this person was just giving a Nazi salute because, And so what we'll get to the question from Ted Cruz. So here, we're going to show you Ari Melber's BS.
House Senator Ted Cruz has something to say about it. Now, there's many different ways you can choose to weigh in. This is what Ted Cruz is saying. This was during a judiciary hearing that was supposed to be about addressing possible violence against educators.
During this hearing, I counted 20 incidents cited. Of the 20, 15 on their face are nonviolent. They involve things like insults. They involve a Nazi salute. That's one of the examples. My God, a parent did a Nazi salute at a school board because he thought the policies were oppressive. General Garland.
Of a disturbing Nazi.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that.
The policies were oppressive. General Garland is doing a Nazi salute at an elected official. Is that protected by the First Amendment?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Now, notice how they cut that off. They're just cutting it off. By the way, if you noticed, well, let me hear how this bullshit artist spins this.
You can hear the Attorney General's brief response there. It is legally accurate that such a salute by itself is First Amendment speech. It's also entirely beside the point.
Is
the
it,
issues
though?
At that oversight hearing
Is
were the
it,
rising
though?
hate in America, which is wrong, and these efforts that foment harassment and
though?
violence, which are illegal.
So when they were talking about, when the Attorney General is looking at this, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the school board, the National School Board Association writing the letter asking the Justice Department and the FBI to investigate these parents who are just coming to school board meetings to voice their opinions. So the what Ted Cruz was talking about there is that, yes, of the 20 incidents that they cited, because they're talking about violence at school board meetings. Remember, there's, 70,000 separate school boards in the United States of America? And so they got parents coming to some of these school board meetings, and they've cited, Ted Cruz says, the 20 incidents you've cited, only 5 were actual violence. He didn't get to the part where what the violent ones were, but the others were insults and someone Nazi saluting someone who they were ridiculing as being authoritarian. And this shitbag says this isn't relevant. What do you mean it's not relevant, Ari? If you're talking about violence, because you said it right. In fact, let's go back. Let's go back to what Ari says here.
You can hear the Attorney General's brief response there. It is legally accurate that such a salute by itself is First Amendment speech. It's also entirely beside the point. The issues at that oversight hearing were the rising.
It beside the point? If you're supposedly talking about,
hate in America, which is wrong, and these efforts that foment harassment and violence, which are illegal.
Oh, is that okay? So again, effort that what he said,
which is wrong,
hang on.
And these efforts that foment harassment and violence, which are
efforts that foment harassment and violence. Okay, so and what was Ted Cruz talking about? Actual violence. Was there actual violence, or were there just some insults? And the Nazi salute was an insult to the person at the school board. Is there a difference if you got 20 incidents and 15 of them are not violence and 5 are? Isn't that what they're talking about? Whether there's violence and or harassment? But they are treating it like, he's defending giving Nazi salutes.
Illegal. Governor Dean is here, and I invite your thoughts on all of the above.
Well, look, Cruz is part of the problem. I mean, he incites hatred. He incites fury. He doesn't listen to other people. His voting
Really, Howard Dean, let me ask you something. But do you do exactly what you just accused him of? I would say yes, Howard Dean. You're an asshole.
As an appalling mess of racism, homophobia, and misogyny.
What? He's just throwing out buzzwords right now. Give some examples, Howard Dean.
And he really doesn't belong in the Senate. He's an embarrassment.
Really? It's funny. He's in the Senate, though, because the people of Texas keep voting him into the Senate. Where are you right now, Howard Dean? Yeah! Where are you, Howard? Just wondering. Good morning, David McDowell, by the way. Yeah! Where are you, Howard Dean? Where the hell are you, dude? You're on the sidelines spewing bullshit.
And there's, unfortunately, a lot of people like that in the United States Senate right now.
Yes.
And it's just too bad.
It's too bad.
The only way to deal with this stuff is to be honest, as Cavuto was, to say what the truth is, and then to expose the people who are attacking him. That is getting to be a smaller and smaller number of people. I've said this before in this show. One of the big reasons that Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff are in Congress, in the United States Senate today, is because the voters in Georgia got fed up with this nonsense. And I think Brian Kemp's going to have a hard time.
Okay.
You know who the candidate.
All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave that. I'll leave that up too. It's just such bullshit. It's just such bullshit. I hate Howard Dean. He's a partisan hack. He really is, and a propagandist. And in fact, I right now I did. Oh, by the way, FTG R.A. Melber, FTG Howard Dean. All right. So anyway, let's see some of this hearing. And the Federalist has a good article with 4 good moments. So we'll watch these 4 clips of different people. And right now, and by the way, Merrick Garland is testifying right now before the Senate live, but I'm going to skip it and maybe catch up tomorrow. 4 must-see moments from the Senate Judiciary questioning of AG Merrick Garland. Republican senators grilled Attorney Merrick Garland in the Senate Judiciary Committee oversight hearing on Wednesday for authorizing the Department of Justice to target parents even after the National School Board Association walked back the inflammatory language contained in its letter demanding that the Biden administration and federal law enforcement intervene against parents concerned about their children's education. Yes, the National School Board Association walked it back, and it was also found out that they were colluding, and we love that word, colluding with the White House. The White House helped them write the letter, and maybe even the AG's office. And it's amazing how quickly the Attorney General's office responded. Did I see Gamer Valine? I did. Good morning, my friend. Hello, gonna catch this replay. I can't deal with the grossly overpaid morons in D.C. right now. Well, I feel you, girl. I feel you, and not in the fun way. Anyway, so okay, how she sure. Okay, here's first. Here's Garland saying that he'll keep targeting parents even after the school board group apologized for its bogus domestic terrorist claim. At the beginning of the hearing, Chuck Grassley pressed Garland to answer whether he would rescind his memorandum directing the FBI and state attorney to address a disturbing spike in harassment and intimidation and threats of violence against school administrators, board members, teachers, and their staff who participate in the vital work of running our nation's public schools. By the way, I do have a cup of reparations and I just need a sip. The NSBA released a statement last week expressing regret for sending the letter and even admitted that there was no justification for some of the language included in the letter. But Garland did not budge. Hello, Siniki. Nice to see you. Well, here, let's just... who's Grassley? Do they have Grassley? No, they don't have Grassley. They didn't have Grassley up here. Quote, your memo mentions that the National Security Division will get involved in school board investigations. Is the Justice Department National Security Division really necessary for keeping local school boards safe if parents are not domestic terrorists? Grassley asked. Why is the National Security Division involved at all? This kind of looks like something that would come out of some communist country. Oh! Sorry. I don't know why that was funny to me. Garland claimed the memo he publicized is focused on, quote, violence and threats of violence. Really? Let's go back to what Ted Cruz was asking. Of the 20 incidents they claimed, only 5 were any form of violence. We need to get to what the violence was. Was it violence by the parents and violence by them being taken out of the meetings? No actual violence. 5 in 70,000 school boards in the United States of America, and Merrick Garland's threatening parents who come and voice their opinions. What? Dude, is there no such thing as local law enforcement in these places? I mean, what the fuck is there? What are they doing in local school board? Scribe. What's up, my brother? Dog Thrapple. So, anyway, earlier in the hearing, Grassley accused Garland of moving the DOJ as far left as it can go and targeting parents who are trying to protect their children. The Republican also criticized the DOJ for refusing to answer GOP members' letters, questions, demands, even though Garland previously promised to be transparent in his confirmation hearing. Oh, give me a break. You know that ain't happening. Jesus. Senator Cotton, this is put number 2. Senator Cotton calls for Garland to resign. Here, let's just watch this.
Judge Garland, on May 11th, Tony Fauci testified that his agency, quote, has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Last week, his agency admitted that they had, in fact, funded gain-of-research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Are you investigating Tony Fauci for lying to Congress?
So the long-time rule in the Justice Department is not to discuss pending investigations, potential investigations.
Really?
Okay, that's fine. That's
really?
fine.
Oh, and it's not? And yet you put out a memo that said that we need to look into the parents. But it's a long time Department of Justice policy, not to mention possible investigations.
Do you believe Tony Fauci was truthful when he said his agency had never funded gain-of-function research?
He's going to answer, I don't know.
This is outside of my scope of knowledge.
Let's turn to your outrageous directive sicking the feds on parents at school boards across America.
Mm-hmm.
When you crafted that October 4th memo, did you consult with senior leadership at the FBI?
My understanding was that the memo or the idea of the memo had been discussed with the FBI before it got.
Did anyone at the FBI express any doubt or disagreement or hesitation with your decision to issue that memo?
No one expressed that to me.
No one.
To me. No one expressed that to me.
Oh,
No.
oh, hey, he had to
'Cause a lot
qualify that now, didn't he? No one expressed that. To me. Because I'm pretty confident somebody expressed. Look at that shit-eating grin on Tom Cotton's face. Now that's some pause magic right there. Yeah, did you catch that? He's like, oh, no one expressed that. I mean, to me.
Or hesitation with your decision to issue that memo?
No one expressed that to me.
No one.
To me. No one expressed that to me. No.
Oh, yeah, he's clarifying.
Because a lot of them have contacted us, and they said they did, Judge.
I'm sorry?
A lot of FBI officials have contacted my office and said that they oppose this decision.
Well, I doubt any of them spoke to me about it because I didn't speak to no one.
All right.
Made that
All right.
to me.
Judge, you've repeatedly dissembled this morning about that directive. For instance, about the National Security Division. Chuck Grassley asked you a very simple question, why you would sick the National Security Division of the Department of Justice on parents. John Cornyn asked you the same thing.
Okay, this goes on, but the big thing at the end is he says to, here, let's just go to the end, because Merrick Garland's not answering any of these questions satisfactorily. He just says, he keeps answering that, this is something I did. And the school board association, like I said, backed off on their claims, but he's not. And it's just something going on, and it's all part of the kind of that. It's kind of like what they're doing with January 6th. They just got this narrative going, and this is part of it. And it's kind of disgusting.
A child was raped as
hang on.
Standard policy. You keep citing news reports, and that's the most prominent news report that anyone in America.
Hang on.
That is a sitting United States senator being harassed in a bathroom.
Here, this is the question I wanted to get to.
A member in the prosecution investigation and list in detail the federal statutes for which you could be prosecuted. Judge, you've talked a lot
All right, here
about
we go.
intimidation and harassment. Have you issued a memorandum like your October 4th memorandum about the Black Lives Matter riots from last summer?
You're talking about the summer of 2020?
Violence.
In the summer of 2020, there
A lot of crimes committed. People haven't been
were a
charged
lot
for
of
those crimes yet.
prosecutions, and they were under the previous administration.
What prosecutions? What prosecutions? Interesting.
Judge, what about
lot of
this?
prosecutions.
It is no doubt you're even though parents at school boards aren't within federal jurisdiction, there's no doubt that federal officials are. You keep saying senators. Have you started an investigation into the harassment of Senator Kyrsten Sinema in a bathroom because she won't go along with the Democratic Party's big tax and spend agenda? That is a sitting United States senator being harassed in a bathroom.
I don't know whether the senator has referred the matter to the Justice Department or not.
Now, the point made earlier was, is that the standard for starting an investigation? That, would someone's harassing a senator in a bathroom, but unless the senator says something, that's the only way they're going to investigate it? Interesting.
You've cited as the basis for that directive the National School Board Association's letter of September 29th. Was that directive being prepared before September 29th, before the School Board Association letter was issued?
I don't believe so. Certainly I didn't have any idea.
What do you mean you don't believe so? Either you're the Attorney General. When was that note being prepared? I don't believe so. Here's what Cotton is getting at. Were they already writing that letter? They were already preparing the letter at the same time that the School Board Association was collaborating with the White House to write their letter, because they see these people in news reports going to school board meetings, demanding accountability from the school boards, and they don't like it, and the Democrats don't like it. And so they came up with this scheme to say, hey, you know what? Here's a way we can do it. So here, we're going to make you think twice about going to a school board meeting, because we're going to have the FBI dig up in your pine parts if you do it again. And you know what the FBI can do. Look where Donald Trump is right now. That's where they're going. Does the Senate have a dunce hat? Because the Senate really needs a dunce hat. Yeah, that is hilarious. Anyway, I just wanted to catch the end of this question with Cotton, then we'll move on.
So it's only prepared to okay, I think that answers the question.
I already answered that question.
So you keep citing the school board letter and news reports.
Right.
One of the news reports cited in that letter, which you presumably mean, is from Loudoun County, Virginia.
No, that is not what I was talking about.
Well, you keep citing news reports, and that's the most prominent news report that anyone in America has seen. That refers to Scott Smith, whose 15-year-old daughter was raped. She was raped in a bathroom by a boy wearing girls' clothes, and the Loudoun County School Board covered it up because it would have interfered with their transgendered policy during Pride Month. And that man, Scott Smith, because he went to a school board and tried to defend his daughter's rights, was condemned internationally. Do you apologize to Scott Smith and his 15-year-old daughter, Judge?
Senator, anyone whose child was raped is the most horrific crime I can imagine, and is certainly entitled and protected by the First Amendment to protest to their school board about this.
But he was cited by the School Board Association as a domestic terrorist, which we now know that letter and those reports were the basis for your.
No,
Senator, this is
that's wrong.
Shameful. Judge, this is shameful. This testimony, your directive, your performance is shameful.
Okay, that's not.
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court. You should resign in disgrace, Judge.
Now, all I can say is, damn! No, actually, I'm just curious as to why the Justice Department is investigating the Loudoun County School Board for dragging that man out of that room. But again, it's not the Justice Department's jurisdiction. State, local authorities and courts should be investigating that, and whether or not that was an appropriate action for that person, because they basically wouldn't let him speak. Now, it is and then it should go from there. But anyone feel sorry for Merrick Garland yet? Now, granted, there were some sycophants that thought that these questions were just out of line, and I know that Cory Booker questioned Merrick Garland. We'll get to that in a minute too. So not only did Merrick Garland use the FBI and National Security Division of the Department of Justice to intimidate concerned parents, he did it based on a lie from the National School Boards Association. And that was, okay, so we already talked about that one. Now, Josh Hawley also grills Garland. Now, a lot of people on the other side of the aisle, and those who support the people on the other side of the aisle, are not fans of Josh Hawley. They think that he perhaps may have been part of the insurrection. Okay, but he wasn't. But he also called for Garland to resign and grilled him with various actions of state attorneys have taken to target parents following the Attorney General's memo legitimizing the NSBA's concerns, even though most of the examples listed did not escalate to even yielding arrest or charges at the local level. That's just it. If there was violence, who was arrested for this so-called violence? Actual violence, not someone asking questions about their daughter being violated in a bathroom. Real quick, thank you, Baby Vaso, for sponsoring the show one more time, who says via Streamlabs, Merrick Garland is about to start a movement. I see the corpse on the floor. I see the gun in his hand. I see the blood in his shirt. I saw him pull the trigger on a security camera, but the corpse didn't report his murder, so we didn't arrest the murderer. Oh, snap!
China is.
I meant that one. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was good. Right. They didn't. No one asked for it to be investigated, so we didn't investigate it. Because, you know. Very good, Baby Vaso. Very good. Very creative of you. Josh Hawley also asked Merrick Garland a few questions and mentioned that he's weaponized the FBI. How long is this one? Is this one? Oh, this is let me see here. Let me check this video.
Who looks at the 13
we'll
different federal crimes that your Justice Department has identified they might be subject to and prosecuted for, like making annoying phone calls. Do you think that they're going to feel that they're welcome to speak up at a school board meeting?
Crime of making an annoying phone call!
How about this one? They could be prosecuted for using the internet, I guess that would be Facebook, in a way that might cause emotional distress to a victim.
It's emotional distress.
How dare you?
Is that a crime of violence?
Senator, I haven't seen the memo that you're
Why
talking
haven't
about,
you?
and I don't. Even from the description, it doesn't sound like it was addressed to parents. But if you
No, it wasn't addressed to parents. It was addressed to prosecutors. That's the problem. Why haven't you seen the memo?
I don't know why I haven't. I don't look at every. I do not get every memo that every U.S. attorney sends out. But if you're
wait a minute, I just want to be sure I understand this. This is a memorandum that collects 13 different federal crimes parents could be charged with. It has United States Department of Justice on the top of it, and you're telling me you haven't seen it?
Who's the memo from, Senator?
The United States Department of Justice, United States Attorney for the District of Montana.
I have not seen a memo from the District of Montana.
Not high enough priority for you?
It's not. That's not the question. I don't.
It is the question. Answer my question. Is it not a high enough priority for you when you're threatening parents with 13 different federal crimes? These aren't crimes of violence. You've testified today. You're focused on violence. That's not what your U.S. attorneys, they work for you. That's not what they're saying. You haven't seen it because it's not a high enough priority, or what?
Question of priority. No one has sent me that memo, so I haven't seen it.
What do you mean no one has sent?
Okay, my question, if I was there, I'd say, okay, well, wait a minute. Okay, where did these 13 categories come from then, if you didn't have anything to do with it? Who gave these guidelines of these 13 different crimes that parents could be charged with for disagreeing with the school board? I'm not sure if he gets to that question, but that's my question. Okay, where did these guidelines come from that the Montana the U.S. Attorney from Montana sent out to law enforcement? Where did these 13 ideas come from?
Sent you the memo. You run the United States Department of Justice, do you not?
There are 115,000 employees of the Department of Justice.
Indeed, and you are in charge of every one of them. And this was a sufficiently important case that you issued a memo. You, over your signature, issued a memo involving the FBI and the Department of Justice in local school boards, local school districts. Your U.S. attorneys are now threatening prosecution with 13 different crimes, but it's not a high enough priority for you. It got lost in the mix.
I'll send again. I've never seen that memo.
That's what concerns me, General Garland.
Well, it wasn't sent to me. I hope you will assure your constituents that what we are concerned about here is violence and threats of violence.
Violence and threats of violence.
Garland, all I can conclude from this is either that you're not in control of your own department, or that, more likely, what I think to be the case, is that you knew full well that this is exactly the kind of thing that would happen. When you issued your memo, when you involved the Department of Justice and all of its resources, and the FBI and all of its resources in local school boards and local school districts, you knew that federal prosecutors would start collecting crimes that they could use against parents. You knew they would advise state and local officials that these are all of the ways parents might be prosecuted. You knew that that was the likely outcome. And that's exactly what's happened. And we're talking about parents like Scott Smith, who's behind me over my shoulder. This is a father from Loudoun County, Virginia. Here he is at a school board meeting. He was forcibly restrained. He was assaulted. He was arrested. Why? Because he went to an elected school board meeting. He's a voter, by the way. He went to an elected school board meeting to raise the fact that his daughter was assaulted, sexually assaulted, in a girl's restroom by a boy. this is what happened to him. Now, you testified last week before the House that you didn't know anything about this case. I find that extraordinary because the letter that you put so much weight on, the letter that's now been retracted, it cites this case. It cites Mr. Scott's case directly. There's a news article cited in the letter. It's discussed in the letter, but you testified you just couldn't remember it. Maybe this will refresh your memory. Do you think people like Scott Smith, do you think parents who show up to complain about their children being assaulted ought to be treated like this man right here?
Parents who show up to complain about school boards are protected by the First Amendment.
Do you think that they ought to be prosecuted in the different ways that your U.S. attorneys are identifying?
If what they're doing is complaining about what the school board is doing, policies, curriculum, anything else that they want to, as long as they're not committing threats of violence, then they should not be prosecuted.
Well, oh my God.
Let me ask you about this. Several of my Democrat colleagues have today, just today in this hearing, multiple times have compared parents who show up at school board meetings, like Mr. Smith here, have compared them to criminal rioters. You think that's right? You think that a parent who shows up at a school board meeting, who has a complaint, who wants to voice that complaint, and maybe she doesn't use exactly the right grammar, you think they're akin to criminal rioters? Do you agree with that?
I do not, and I do not remember any senator here making that comparison.
Oh, really? These people are just like the folks who came here on January 6th and the riot at the Capitol?
I don't think they were referring to the picture that you're showing there.
Well,
oh my God! Would hope not, but they were referring to parents who go to school board meetings. Mr. Smith is a parent who went to a school board meeting. I'll leave it at this, General Garland. You have weaponized the FBI and the Department of Justice. Your U.S. attorneys are now collecting and cataloging all the ways that they might prosecute parents like Mr. Smith because they want to be involved.
U.S. attorneys too. That's the other thing about this. And he says the same thing that Tom Cotton is. He said you should resign. That's the thing that gets to me on this. Why is the United States Department of Justice involved in this? This is this is the epitome of a local matter. None of these parents are crossing state lines. They're barely crossing school district lines. They're going to their own school district and complaining about what's going on in their school districts. They could come and vote your sorry asses out the entire school board if they wanted to, and that's an open forum. And why is the fucking Department of Justice even talking about this? You know, and the funny thing is that the reason when we read that letter from the original letter from the National School Board Association, which is the biggest crock of shit. The reason they kept talking about, they kept using the term interstate commerce, even though it had nothing to do with interstate commerce. These are local school boards. But why did they throw in the words about interstate commerce over and over? So that they could find some justification for the Justice Department to come swoop in. But there's no interstate commerce when it comes to school board members, unless they're buying some books from, another state. But that's not even interstate commerce. It's just hilarious. The threat of violence was a threat to vote them out. Terribly violent. Yeah, vote the fuckers out. I'm telling you. That's exactly what it should be. All right, then the last one is Ted Cruz. Now we'll watch Ted Cruz because you'll get more of a sense of what he was saying, that these douchebags are all they heard from Ted. They got their, here's what it is. They got their talking point because Ted Cruz said the thing about the ridiculing school board members with the Nazi salute. And and Ilhan Omar too. She's so full of shit. Talking about how Ted Cruz is defending Nazi salutes. Really? We'll get into anyway, we'll get there.
Your son-in-law makes a very substantial sum of money from a company involved in the teaching of critical race theory.
Yes, he does.
Did you seek and receive a decision from an ethics advisor at the Department of Justice before you carried out an action that would have a predictable financial benefit to your son-in-law?
This memorandum is aimed at violence and threats.
I just asked a question. Did you seek an
It has
ethics
no predictable
Did you
effect
seek
on-
an ethics opinion?
It has no
Did you seek an ethics opinion? Judge, you know how to ask questions and answer them. Did you seek an ethics opinion?
You asked me whether I sought an ethics opinion about something that would have a predictable effect on something. This has no predictable effect in the way that you're talking about.
So if critical race theory is taught in more schools, does your son-in-law make more
this
money?
memo has nothing.
If critical race theory is taught in more schools, does your son-in-law make more money? Yes or no?
This memorandum has nothing to
He
do
doesn't
with
want to answer
critical
these
race.
questions
Will you
at all.
answer if you
Any
sought an
other
ethics
kind
opinion?
of curriculum?
Will you
that has-
answer if you sought an ethics
Good.
opinion?
Oh, by the way, there's a new name. A couple new names. Good morning, Will Sinner. Well, it's a change of a name. And then also, good morning, Facts Over Feelings. Nice to see you. Message retracted. Don't retract your message. Come on now. You can leave that message right up there. Anyway, he doesn't want to answer these questions. So the answer is, did you, the first question was, did you seek an ethics opinion on this? The answer is no. Why is he afraid to answer no on that? And then whether or not his son-in-law would make money if they sold more books, because his son sells sells books to school or something, and that's one of the books that they sell.
Answering the best I can.
Yes or no? Did you seek an ethics opinion?
This memorandum has
It's a yes or no question, and you can say no because if you want to, but damn, it's obvious no.
Did
nothing.
you seek an ethics opinion?
This memorandum
No.
has nothing to do with.
General, are you refusing to answer if you sought an ethics
I am
opinion?
telling you that there's no possible.
So you're saying no. Just answer it directly. You know how to answer a question directly. Did you seek an ethics opinion?
I'm telling you that if I thought there was any reason to believe there was a conflict of interest, I would do that. But I cannot.
Why do you
imagine
refuse to answer
a
the question?
conflict
Why
of
won't you
interest.
just say no?
I'm sorry.
You're not going to answer the question?
I'm sorry. Ask the question again.
Did you seek an ethics opinion?
I'm saying again, I would seek an ethics opinion in.
So
Good
no is
God.
the answer, correct?
Thought there was a conflict.
Senator, your time is up.
Good God, just
Let
say
the record reflect the
no.
Attorney General refuses to answer whether he sought an ethics opinion, and apparently ethics are not a terribly high priority in the Biden Justice Department.
I don't think that's a fair reflection of what I said.
Then answer the question.
Yes or no? Did you?
Senator, you've gone way beyond any other senator's time. I think you ought to be at least respectful of other senators at this point.
Mr. Chairman, do you know the answer whether he sought an ethics opinion?
I think you have exchanged that so many times, we know where we stand.
Oh, Dick Durbin. And that's why his name is Dick Durbin. You know what? Just for that, well, obviously we're going to FTG Merrick Garland, but also just for that, FTG Dick Durbin. There we go. With the emphasis on Dick. All right. Anyway, if you want to see the bullshit now, the spin on Ted Cruz's testimony though is so this is how Twitter does things, right? Hello, Francis Barrett, Emphasis One, Jesse Leon, Rusty Shack, and everyone who's here. Hit the like button, by the way. In fact, let me just go back to just something real quick. Because I rarely shill during the show, and I got to remember to do that. Sir Shaggy is in the house, too. All right. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please hit the like button if you like what's going on here. And if you don't like it, well, I'm sorry. I'll try to be better. And share the stream before, during, and after the stream. If you're if you're watching a replay right now, even though it's live right at this moment, but when you're watching it, it could be a replay. Put a comment in the comment section so I know that you're here. And then you can sponsor the show through SuperChats, through Streamlabs, which is at pdognight.live. Or Streamlabs, either one. There's a link somewhere. It shows up in the chat every once in a while. Or you can use one of the other venues downstairs in the below the belt here. Anyway, never mind. You don't need to go below the belt. Anyway, FTG Dick Durbin. Holy shit. So the spin though, on Twitter spins things is always funny. I just always find it hilarious. So they had their big thing here is AG Merrick Garland testifies before the Senate. United States Attorney General Merrick Garland addressed a number of topics before the Senate Judiciary Committee on October 27th, according to CNN. What do you mean according to CNN? Did nobody at Twitter watch this shit? God Dog. Anyway, and they give a replay from the PBS NewsHour, and now this, two reliably leftist outfits. Anyway, so then these included the FBI's handling of the investigation of Larry Nassar, who was convicted of numerous counts of sexual assault against young members of the U.S. gymnastics team. Garland also defended the Justice Department memo issued last month on threats against school board members. Non-existent. Over stupid 19 protocols. Oh, is it just that? Because a lot of them were also about things that are in the schools, and the guy, obviously the guy whose daughter was sexually assaulted in a bathroom by a kid who just has been convicted of doing it at multiple schools. Motherfuckers. The school board pretended like they didn't know about it too. Remember that? And discussed whether the DOJ would prosecute former Trump advisor Steve Bannon after the House voted to hold him in contempt last week. Update. This one was amended. Okay. So then the highlighted one is Ted Cruz appears to the very first one. They curate this shit because this is supposed to be the top stuff. They curate it. And the first one is Ted Cruz appears to defend the right to do the Nazi salute, saying it's free speech after it was reported that a parent at Ohio School. Now, and then the second one, Newsweek. Ted Cruz asked Merrick Garland if Nazi salutes are a form of protected free speech. And then Meghan McCain dramatically kicks Senator Lindsey Graham to the curb. Senator Cruz appears to defend the right of Nazi salute. And then finally, Jordan and House GOP has announced investigation of National School Board Association over NSB letter asking Biden for help dealing with parents at school board meetings. Minnesota. There's another one. Senate hearing grows heated as Republicans repeatedly demanded Attorney Merrick Garland retract a memo issued earlier this month aimed at addressing a rise in threats against school board officials around the country. Citation. They try to cite it. And then now Fox News, thank God you're not on the Supreme Court, is out here. Anyway. And the Wall Street Journal, Attorney General Merrick Garland signaling he has no plans to withdraw a memo ordering the FBI to help local leaders address threats against educators. Now that is, holy shit, that changes it completely. Threats against educators? Is that what they're doing? I hate Twitter, so full of shit. I'll leave that up there, though. It'll be in the tabs. By the way, everything we go through. Now I'm going to try to get through the rest of this news. But I want to go to the legal insurrection article on this because they always have a pretty good take, too. Garland defiantly pledges feds will continue monitoring parents protesting at school boards. AG Garland doubled down on his memo pushing the FBI and the other DOJ departments on concerned parents at school board meetings. Garland denied the NSBA letter describing those parents as domestic terrorists and whining for help influenced his decision. Yet Garland's move came right after the administration received the letter. Oh, the administration received the letter? You mean they received the letter that they helped draft? Now, the National School Board Association apologized for the description, but Garland will not back away from his memo. And as we read earlier, Chuck Grassley said that the memo had a poisonous chilling effect on speech, as it specifically dealt with opposition to school board officials. When he appeared before the House Judiciary Commission last week, Garland acknowledged the influence of the NSBA's original letter, which cited instances including nonviolent behavior. Oh, I thought he was worried about violence. No. Hello, Dom. Nice to see you. Anyways, and then let's see. Oh, well, you can read. They have more clips in here. And now, Garland told Senator Dick Durbin, the letter did not influence him, and his only concern is violence. Aww. The letter that was subsequently sent does not. Here, let's use his own
Second
words here.
thoughts after they sent a follow-up letter saying they didn't agree with their original premise in their first letter?
Senator, I think all of us have seen these reports of violence and threats of violence.
Where? All of us have seen these reports of violence and threats of violence. Where?
That's what the Justice Department is concerned about.
And also, why is the Justice Department investigating them? Is there no law enforcement that's local that would have jurisdiction over violence and threats of violence at a school board meeting? Is there anyone? Why is the United States Department of Justice, particularly Homeland Security Division, or excuse me, the what do they call it? Why is the Justice Department doing it, not local law enforcement?
It's not only in the context of violence and threats of violence against school board members.
He said not only in the context of violence and threats of violence against school board members. Listen to those words, because remember what he just told Ted Cruz.
Personnel, teachers, staff. It's in a rising tide of threats of violence against judges, against prosecutors, against secretaries of state, against election administrators,
against
senators,
doctors,
against protesters, against news reporters. That's the reason that we responded as quickly as we did.
Really? And again, what's your jurisdiction on this?
A letter indicating that there were threats of violence and violence with respect to school officials and school staff.
Wait, the letter that they retracted?
That's the reason. That's what we are concerned about. That's part of our core responsibility. The letter that was
Remember, words are violence.
Subsequently sent does not change the association's concern about violence or threats of violence. It alters some of the language in the letter, in the letter that we did not rely on and is not contained in my own memorandum.
Oh, but it came out right after that letter.
The only thing the Justice Department is concerned about is violence and threats of violence.
Okay, then you need to cite specific cases of violence and threats of violence, and that is not your jurisdiction. So there's more of Garland's testimony in that if you want to see that, we'll move on. Florida, in other news, Florida tied for lowest daily coronavirus cases per capita in the United States of America. Congratulations, Florida. You are... for all you animals.
Why the fuck you lying?
Whoa, that was a mistake. Was that? I was gonna say, for the people who hate Ron DeSantis, Florida's tied for having the lowest number of daily average cases of the Chinese coronavirus per capita in the United States. The Sunshine State, which came under tremendous criticism from members of the far left throughout the pandemic, is now tied with Hawaii for having the lowest coronavirus case rate per capita, according to the New York Times case map. The New York Times case map. Hello, Brent Hayes, by the way. Both states are reporting 9 daily average cases per 100,000. That represents a 39% drop in cases for Florida over the last 2 weeks. Meanwhile, notoriously blue states, even those which still have mask mandates in place, are reporting a higher number of cases per capita. Illinois, for example, which still has a statewide mask mandate in place per Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker, is reporting 17 cases per 100,000. Washington, D.C., which also has a mandate in place, is reporting 12 cases per capita. Governor Gretchen Whitler's Michigan is reporting 38 cases per capita. Holy shit. And Pennsylvania, 30 per capita. New York, 19. Remember, Florida's 9 per 100,000. 38 in Michigan, in the state where Gretchen Whitler, whatever fuck her name is in charge, and you will wear a mask, and you will not go into restaurants, and you will not go up north and clean your cabin leaves up. Oh, that was last year when she said no one could leave no one could travel, but her husband was up raking leaves at their cabin up north. Up north is what we in the northern states call going to the cabin up by the lake. Anyway, fascinating. Notably, Florida is also reporting a significantly lower case average than those three states. 1,863. Michigan's is 3,784. Pennsylvania 3,890, and New York is 3,771. And that's despite the fact that Florida has the largest population by far of those four states. Excuse me. For months during the pandemic, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis faced tremendous criticism from the establishment media and blue state leaders for his approach during the public health crisis, prioritizing individual liberty and standing against coercive mandates. Unlike blue state governors, DeSantis did not continue months-long lockdowns, nor did he ever issue a statewide mask mandate. Good for him. Congratulations. He deserves all the praise. So anyway, who do we FTG for that? You know who gets an FTG every week? Oh, what did I do there? Hang on. Just for the hell of it, Dr. Anthony Fauci gets an FTG for that one. All right, now, how long will the vaccine authoritarians sit in the cold and the dark? This is a great article, PJ Media, and you can read it yourself, but I just wanted to get to the beginning of this. Most of us don't understand the complex systems that must be repaired and maintained to make the lights go on when we flip a switch. Members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers do. They also know how power companies staff the jobs to repair and maintain that equipment. Here's a hint. They don't use full-time employees working for Con Ed or P&G&E, and vaccine mandates and passports could get in the way. A network of contractors employ linemen who generally flock to the scene in advance when the weather patterns predict severe storms in a particular area. There are also archaic rules about which contractors can serve different regions based on union regulations. For example, non-union contractors from the South are generally not allowed to work in New York and California. Usually, IBEW linemen from the Midwestern contractors would have been flooding to the Northeast before yesterday's storm that left around 600,000 residents in several states without power. This time they did not. In fact, according to one senior member of the IBEW local in the Midwest, the contractors did not even attempt to raise crews to go. This line worker, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said that even if the call had gone out, almost no one would have volunteered. Anyone who did would be looked upon as a scab and have difficulty getting jobs out of the union hall in the future. Unions have ways to encourage solidarity. While the union contract prevents these workers from striking, working on a storm crew is voluntary. No employer can impel an IBEW worker to go. According to informal polling of the halls, the men in these muscular jobs in flyover country who work consistently during lockdowns have very low vaccination rates. Oh my God! While storm crews are an excellent way to make double time for every hour work, these line worker reports it's not worth the hassle in places with vaccine mandates. When they flocked to New Orleans after Hurricane Ida earlier this summer, vaccine passports made it impossible for these workers to get a meal in a restaurant or a cup of coffee in a local convenience store. So basically, they're saying, fuck you, stay in the dark. Motherfuckers. Read the rest of that article. It's really, it just tells you how this shit is, it's messing a lot of things up, and good. Hello, cigar chomping penguin. Nice to see you. Now, in New York City, they could lose 30% of its police force and fire departments over the jab mandates. Good. Figure it out, assholes. New York City may lose up to 30% of its police force and fire department after October 29th over a mandate that puts officers and firefighters on unpaid leave if they do not receive the Fauci juice, at least one dose of the stupid 19 vaccine. New York City took one of its most aggressive steps yet to increase jab rates in a city that was once the epicenter of the pandemic, requiring almost every member of the nation's largest municipal workforce to get jabbed by the end of the month or lose their paychecks. And some of them are saying, you know what? Fuck you. There's jobs in Pennsylvania or South Carolina or Florida. Hell, Florida is probably the best place to work right now because there's lots of jobs there. Anyway, courts estimated about 6,500, and they're saying, hey, come on down. Ron DeSantis said, come on down. We'll hook you up. We will hook you up in a state that's not insane. About 6,500 police department employees, roughly 30% of the agency's total workforce of 36,000 officers and 19,000 civilians who have so far refused to get the juice. Firefighters union in New York City warned Wednesday that the percentage could be similar for city fire department, 911 dispatchers, and emergency medical technicians. Now, here's something interesting also. So remember when apparently the deadline for the medical workers in New York was a lot earlier, right? And so a lot of those people were let go. Well, there's a little quiet secret that probably no one's hearing too much about. And I was watching a podcast that had a doctor on it. He said, well, very quietly, a lot of those people are being rehired because they're really short on people and they need people. So they're just kind of being really quiet and they're rehiring them. So I wonder how this is going to work out with the police and firefighters. Are they just they're going to ceremoniously say, oh, you can't work no more, blah, 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 blah. And then just go, hey, dude, just fucking come to work. We need your ass, okay? Because we're swamped here. There's shit. There's buildings burning down that we can't get to, and we just got it. Just pretend you got the juice, okay? Don't say anything. We won't say anything. We'll get you. We'll hook you up. You'll be all right. But publicly, you're fired, motherfucker. Anyway, you knew this is gonna happen. And it's stupid anyway, I got to tell you. All right, let's move on because I'm running out of time. Oh, I'm out of time. Well, I'm going to finish this up anyway. Another In-N-Out Burger has been closed for bucking the vax mandate, and other locations are being targeted. Standing by the company's stance to reject discrimination against their patrons, another California In-N-Out Burger was closed down for refusing to check customers' vaccination status before serving them food. The Pleasant Hill In-N-Out location, I've been to that one. Holy shit. I've been to the In-N-Out Burger in Pleasant Hill. That's interesting. Received 4 citations in recent weeks. Fines totaling $1,750, all for the same health order violation. Before today's action, Contra Costa Environmental Health said in a statement, according to The Hill, Contra Costa suspended the permit because the business was not in compliance with all applicable state and local health and safety regulations, and so posed an immediate health hazard to the public. Really, did it? The statement added 2 other In-N-Out restaurants in the area are also being targeted by the Contra Costa Environmental Health, collecting fines and warning for refusing to check patients' jab stats. What a fucking pain in the ass. I would just, hey, show me your jab card. Okay, great. What do you want to eat? I wouldn't even look up when I did it. I'm sorry. Anyway, so then we already knew one in San Francisco closed down. So California on the leading edge of insanity. Moving on. Apparently, some unearthed Wuhan lab docs show that the bat lady, Xi Zhengli, isolating coronavirus strains for a direct human infection. Did I mention FTG California? FTG Cali. There we go. And also,
asshole.
So this lady, the bat lady, who they basically was the leading grant receiver for this from the Wuhan, or excuse me, from the National Institute of Health, and the dude from whatever they was. Hey, BG. She's known as the bat lady. Celebrated her isolation of coronavirus strain that could cause direct human infection in an annual lab report unearthed by the National Pulse. The admission follows mounting evidence that Stupid-19 traces its origins to the Wuhan-based lab and can be linked to risky gain-of-function research funded by Dr. Anthony Fauci. Yay! Okay, not directly, but you know how that thing works. We all know that they were funding research that was gain-of-function research, and they admitted it. So anyway, they've unearthed evidence and research papers saying that she did isolate a certain coronavirus strain, not the one that we're dealing with now, but and figured out how it could be transmitted to humans. holy shit. You know, the article's in the tab. We all knew this was happening there. All right. And an FDA committee, this we're moving on. Oh, and we'll just FTG there. I've said it.
China is asshole.
Moving on, Pfizer. This is an article about Pfizer. FDA committee member admits he doesn't know if the vaccine is safe for kids, but approves it anyway. Now, I've been making this comparison with this ad, or this new approving the juice for kids ages 5 to 11. Now, let me go back into my Twitter feed real quick here, because I made a point that people seem to like, and it's in my notifications here. A few people have appreciated this point because the Associated Press made this series of statements. Breaking: kids aged 5 to 11 will soon be able to get a COVID-19 shot at their pediatrician's office, local pharmacy, and potentially even at school. White House is detailing plans for expected authorization of the Pfizer shot for young children. The Pfizer vaccine requires 2 doses spaced 3 weeks apart, meaning kids will get their first shot of the vaccine within a couple weeks of the expected approval in early November and will be fully vaccinated at Christmas. Now, here's the line that I am saying. My X'd out still doesn't work. Anyway, X'd out on this one. Children are at lower risk of having serious side effects from stupid 19, but those serious consequences do occur. Extremely rare. Officials note that vaccination both, listen to this line carefully, dramatically reduces those chances and will reduce the spread of the Delta variant. I'm going to repeat that. Dramatically reduces those chances and will reduce the spread of the Delta variant. Now, when I read the article, there was a point where it mentions that 637 children, the ages 0 to 17, have died from stupid 19. That's awful, right? It's awful, and it is awful. Any child dying is tragic, and I'm not disputing that at all. Out of 6 million known cases of people in that age range getting stupid 19, 6 million cases, 637 children have died from stupid 19. Significantly insignificant. Absolutely significant to those parents who lost their children, but statistically insignificant. It's 0.0106% death rate among those 0 to 17-year-olds. My question on Twitter was dramatically reduces, quote unquote, a 0.0106 death rate among those 0 to 17 who get COVID. 637 out of 6 million cases over 19 months. So how much room is there for dramatically? How do you dramatically reduce less than zero? Or, I mean, zero, almost zero. How do you dramatically reduce that? And the hospitalization rate is not much higher because very few children are hospitalized. It's barely a blip in that percentage. How do you dramatically reduce that? You don't. And so that's also kind of the reason why I keep comparing this to, well, maybe, you know what else you should vaccinate kids for? Shingles. Because, I mean, it's a vaccination they should probably get, right? Let's just vaccinate it for shingles. Don't you think that maybe it's smarter to let kids just get it because they don't carry the viral load to spread it? they also tend to survive it, and they would have naturally produced antibodies and B-cell memory that would remember how to produce antibodies for this. It would be so much smarter to just, it would make more sense. But no. And now, at a meeting of the Food and Drug Administration Vaccines and Related Biological Projects Advisory Committee, a voting member admitted he wasn't sure about the stupid 19 shots long-term risk to children, despite the committee voting to recommend the Pfizer vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11. The committee considered the voting question that read, quote, based on the totality of scientific evidence available, do the benefits of the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine when administered as a 2-dose series outweigh its risk for use in children 5 to 11 years of age? While considering the question, one member openly admitted they couldn't be certain the vaccine is safe while advocating for children to be injected with it, saying, we're never going to learn about how safe the vaccine is until we start giving it. Oh my God, is that the standard now? Is that the standard? Let's see if they have a video of this. They don't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here.
But we're never going to learn about how safe the vaccine is unless we start giving it. Yeah, that's just the way it goes.
Oh, so we're going to test it. So basically, so he's saying, well, let's just test it on kids. Let's just give it to them and see what happens. You know that normally, when you're trying to determine long-term effects of certain medications, vaccines, whatever, usually you need 10 years of testing to know what those long-term effects are going to be. Plus, we also do know that the myocarditis that is happening among kids, mostly males, ages roughly 12 to 17, is, well, they've figured that out in the now that they've been giving it to kids in that age group. Holy shit! We just don't know what's gonna happen. We just got to let's just give it to them and find out. Wow. All right, FTG to whoever that asshole was. I don't even know what his name is. Is his name here? I don't even know. What the fuck's his name? Anyway, yeah, I guess we won't know until we just start giving it to them, and then we'll figure it out later. And if, every kid in America grows a third arm coming out of their temple, well, then we'll deal with it as it comes. But at least they'll be able to, maybe they'll be able to block shots better if they play basketball. I don't know. All right, last two articles, and I'm going to get out of here. Kentucky mayor gets a slap dance from a male high school student during a man pageant at a school assembly. I think Monkey in the Morning talked about this. The mayor of Hazard, Kentucky, the mayor is also the principal of the high school, held an assembly with a male pageant. The students came dressed in lingerie and gave lap dances to the staff. Yes, that is appropriate behavior for the... What the fuck? And there's laughing and, oh, hey, stick that in my butthole. And, oh, no, we're touching his belly. And who's, oh my God, whose idea was this? Yeah, the article's there. I can't fucking believe it. And then finally, the University of Pittsburgh. By the way, FTG, let's just say FTG mayor of Hazard, Kentucky. There we go. FTG to the mayor of Hazard, Kentucky. What the fuck? Mark Dice and Salty Cracker have good videos. I'm gonna have to look that up. I have to go find Salty Cracker because I don't know if he's still on YouTube. I follow him somewhere else, and I always forget to watch stuff over there on Rumble and shit. Anyway, my last one: the University of Pittsburgh declares words like freshmen, upperclassmen, and ladies and gentlemen to be sexist language. The University of Pittsburgh says that words like freshmen, upperclassmen, ladies and gentlemen, and ombudsman and mankind are sexist language to be avoided when writing and speaking. On a page called Gender Inclusive Non-Sexist Language Guidelines and Resources on the school's website, it says misgendering someone is disrespectful and dismissive, but not illegal. And then it asks, have you ever been called by a name or gender that you don't identify with? And what if you have? One way to misgender is to assume you know someone's gender via their appearance and to call them a name or pronoun that they don't identify with. Fuck you, I'm not going to go around asking everyone their pronouns, and I'm not going to use your pronoun when I'm talking to you anyway, asshole. That's your pronoun now. It's asshole. There you go. Jethro, what's up? How you doing, Jethro Hetero? Oh my God. And you call them a name or pronoun that they don't identify with. You know what? The only person who needs to understand the pronoun that I'm using is the person that I'm talking to. And I don't play the whole non-binary game. I'm sorry. It's just not part of my language. If you go to France, you don't tell them how to use their language. If you go to Lithuania, you don't go to use their language. If you go to China, you do not teach them how to use Cantonese or Mandarin. You talk in their language, or you shut the fuck up and try to explain yourself in language that hopefully they can understand, but don't try to change someone's language, okay? If something occurs naturally, like, slang turns into something, that you use later, people call facial tissues Kleenex because the Kleenex brand, and that just happens naturally. I don't care. But this bullshit where you are just trying to gain attention by forcing someone to use the language to make you special, I don't care. You are not that special. I'm going straight to hell, and I probably get kicked off YouTube for that, but I don't, whatever. Fuck them. FTG to the University of Pittsburgh. FTG U of Pittsburgh. Did I spell that right? Close enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on FTG Thursday. You can still sponsor the show if you'd like, but that's up to you. I have to quit for the day, though. But, as usual, I'll be back tomorrow with another version of the Morning Night Live. I can't decide about it. I was trying to get, I've been really lax on getting guests on the show, and there's a couple people that I've been trying to get on the show. We'll figure that out, but we may do a call-in show tomorrow, or I might just rant tomorrow. I'm probably just going to rant tomorrow if I don't have a guest. Nothing personal. I love having call-in shows, or open mic shows, but I think I've neglected the rant in me, and I need to do it more just to get it out and to put it all over you. And so we'll see what happens. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, that's definitely it for today, though. And I appreciate all of you being here. Before you go, before you do anything, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. I know there are more than 27 people here. So just a couple last minute likes would be great. Also, share the stream before, during, after the stream. It helps anytime you do it. And also, if you are watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so I can say hi to you. I appreciate those of you who do that. A lot of you do it already. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, you can sponsor the show one of several ways, all down in the description. I'm not going to tell you them here now, but you can find that out. And there's multiple ways to do it. Thanks for those who do it all, who've done it already today. Baby Vaso, Tall Person, and BBC Rentals. I know who you are. And thanks for sponsoring the show. I greatly appreciate it. It's time for me to go, though. My name is P. Dawg Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P. Dawg Knight. And thank you for watching today on the P. Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P. Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.